All right, it's wacky Fed week. It's the FOMC. We had elections in Europe, and the Apple Developers Conference went underway without much fanfare. One of our members pointed out, "Hey, what do you think of MobileEye today?" And as I see, MobileEye did have we generated a PPS buy signal, but this was a week ago, and it just stealthily started to rally out of nowhere between Friday and then had some follow through today. But the follow through today, what I'm looking at is MobileEye had 8.8 million shares traded today. 10-day average, including Friday's big move, is 4.8. So it's doubled its volume. So something maybe to watch tomorrow if it holds the open 31.45. There's a gap in the charts, gang. Let's double check. It's somewhere up here. There you go, 36. And what we noticed in the room on the June 21st options, it looks like someone was playing the 36.45 spreads, and those were around 80 cents right into the close. So the call spread, you buy in the 36 and you're selling the 45. It's a 9 wide for 80 cents. It's a long shot, but it's June 21st, and it seems that this might have something not to do with Apple, because they are a sensor for a driving sensor for vehicles. But we had today in the vehicle sector or auto sector, you had Ford at 67 million volume today, where it does 10-day average volume is 47. So Ford might catch a little bit of a more of a rebound. It looks like someone's acquiring some positions, because look at this buy signal that came in with Ford, sneaky, almost the same time with MobileEye, and then it went into a buy mode. No one pays attention to it, and then it delayed reaction, and they silently acquire positions. My volume indicator has been going up on Ford. The other one would be to take a look at GM, also a big bar breakout today, 18 million shares where it does 15. All right, so I just wanted to cover that. So for tomorrow, we do have vehicles. The one vehicles that not moving much, and that would be Tesla. Tesla maybe is underwater because of the pay package issue with Elon Musk. Elon Musk also making news today on Apple and their decision to use C3AI's product for all of theirs. And he said flat out, because he believed, because I think he was an angel investor in the very beginning with Sam Altman, and then they went public, and they were supposed to be, for the world, and they changed their business model. So there's no loss of love, sort of like between Elon Musk. And so if Apple says they're going to use that, Elon Musk tweets out today, well, if Apple uses that product, they're not allowed in any of my companies. So check your iPhones at the door before you come to work, gang. I'm not going to get in a tit for tat, but bottom line, AI certainly got a little bit of a boost from Apple's movement. And if we take a gander here, let me go back down. I just wanted to cover this briefly. AI, with all of that hoopla, 6 million shares, it does 11. So the rally here was not on a big surprise, or not a lot of people believe that it's a big deal, because there wasn't heavy volume. The heavy volume trades came in some ETFs. IGV. Now I'm just going to cut it straight to the chart chase here. Above pivot, it's in a buy signal, and software tech sector ETF today did generate a nice little upside move on greater than 10-day average volume. Surprisingly, XOP, oil and gas, generates a daily high close doji. That's why that bar is orange. Once again, this is TradeStation, and this is the indicators that we programmed based off my book that was released 20 years ago called Candlestick and Pivot Point Trading Triggers. So this is a high close doji near a pivot support. The condition of the market today on today's XOP had an increase over time of volume. So it did get a bid on volume in the XOP, which is the oil and gas sector. It's hard to put your finger on which stock really did the best in that space. Valero just moved sideways. Hess did okay. But COP, which was in the news a week ago, COP was buying Marathon for stock, not cash. Now, this has had a pretty decent run, and it's coming. I guess if you want to draw an imaginary uptrend, you'd say, oh, not too bad. But COP was up on greater than 10-day average volume as well with a daily PPS buy signal. So these are the names, whether it's COP, the energy sector, IWM, which again didn't get a lot of respect. It's not in a buy signal, but it finished a little slightly higher. Volume was specifically greater than its average 10-day numbers. So that's something to pay closer attention to. Stocks in focus for Tuesday, SWKS, Skyworks Solution, greater than 10-day average volume, relative strengths improving. There's the fuchsia color, and it's a high close doji. So you might get a little bit more upside, just like MBLY, Skyworks Solution, something we'll be watching in the live trading room. I would say, as long as the low today doesn't get taken out, if there is any kind of a mild pullback, 91.5 or so would be considered, or 92.75, considered a decent buy, something right into this zone right here. If it comes back, pulls back in there in the next day or so. Remember, it's Fed week, so we have that to concern ourselves with. Looking ahead, I just wanted to also conclude with some of the scans that we had for daily high close dojis. It was kind of an interesting day with big volume. So that's all I'm looking at, the big volume trades. We had one was, we haven't seen this in a while. This is a blast from the past, Twilio. So I guess this would be why the IGV, the software, technology software, IGV sector got a bid. Stocks like Twilio are in that space. And so Twilio got a little bit of a bid there. So in the Skyworks Solution and Lam Research, those are two other names that you might focus on Tuesday. They had big buy signals on good volume, which is supportive. There's a lot of stocks that were up today on very weak volume. I always like to look at the follow through for the next day. And again, we might get that ahead of Jay Powell and team. Here's a space that I wanted to have mentioned. It's Datadog in the cloud storage. Now, the space was up because CrowdStrike was up huge on big volume. It's getting added to the S&P 500. Now, there's better names, or there's other names in the space. One is called Cloudflare Net. It had decent volume today. The relative strength improved the PMC readings. Here's the daily chart. I'll expand that for your viewing, at least clarity. And we'll conclude here. I kind of like this pattern as what we call a bullish convergence, meaning the price makes new closing lows and the indicator makes a higher low. And the relative strength, the PMC indicators relative to the S&P 500, it's starting to outperform or starting to improve its performance relative to the S&Ps. If that continues and it turns bright blue, that's where you get a lift off. So what we look for is improving volume, improving relative strength, and that leads to sometimes really strong short-term, or if it's a daily chart, more like a swing trade pop. And if it's a weekly chart, maybe more like a position trade. Gap upside the market, we might see a little bit of follow through here. I would say 76 would be the upside resistance that you could see. So I would, again, it's a $5 potential upside. So you're, talking maybe 9% gain to the upside. What's your risk on this trade? You got to risk a close, or you got to put your stop loss at least under 68 even, right under the low of that swing low right there. I'd give it a little bit more, but watch for that for the market to open tomorrow. I like that one, and we will update you on more stocks. Last one in the financials, by the way, which was a very high volume buy setup with a strong volume and improved relative strength, Capital One. I'm coming late to the party about this because market's closed right now, and late to the party because this actually gave the high close doji. That's the orange bar. That gave the trigger on Friday. It opened lower and traded higher. One stock, I will give you one last stock that we did in the live trading room based on my weekly newsletter. This was in the biotech, which, oh boy, IBB also didn't quite have the upside potential, but of a buy signal. It's got, I mean, it has upside potential. It just didn't generate a buy signal. But let me go back up and share this with you. On biotech, go to symbol, double click, and go alphabetically. And here's biotech. The IBB did 2 million shares today, and 10-day average volume is 1.5. So that alludes that more people in a very slow day were active in certain spaces. And in that space was biotech. There's a stock that we picked out based on the scans on Friday that we put in the newsletter. It had a weekly high close doji. There it is. Our buy was per the newsletter. If you're not familiar with the newsletter, I do this every weekend. AZTA in the pharmaceutical sector. This was a purchase. We placed bids before the open on, usually speaking, on all these trades. Insight, we'll go over that if you want, was another one that we had for this week. But the market opened up lower, allowing everyone, here it is, opened up lower this morning, allowing everyone to get filled at better prices, and then ended up almost 2% higher for about a 4% swing from fill to close. INCY, Insight Pharmaceutical. Again, it's in a weekly buy mode. Volume is starting to really get momentum on the volume. So people are buying dips. So watch for dips. Biotech, certain unloved names or names that were beaten up badly are starting to find some value, number one, and a buyers, number two. That's all I have. We'll update you later in the week. And again, we've got a lot going on this week. First off, what we have Tuesday, you got stuff that we can trade based on what I just gave tonight. But Wednesday is the CPI and the Fed. Thursday, PPI and the Bank of Japan. So it's central banker week with, again, the main focus with the Federal Reserve. Have a great rest of your trading week. We'll update a video tomorrow. And if you like what you hear, you like what you see, just give me a thumbs up. It's always appreciative. We just do this to help people understand what the indicators are, how they work, and how I use them, and what we do with them, right? I mean, we do look for scans, we look for opportunities, and we place orders, whether they're in the actual stock or for options. And that's what we do at Person's Planet. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.